Hey guys.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back to our live session. We were not planning on doing a live session today, but I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
So
This is
here-
a touchy one. This is something that got you pretty excited, and we feel like it's a pretty important thing to talk about.
right.
Maybe-
So I think here it's hard to start to say this. Okay, so first of all, as you probably noticed that as a tea vendor, we try to avoid
Yeah.
talking much about the COVID. The best we do is like what everybody is doing, encourage people to stay at home. And because we're a tea vendor.
We're a tea company, right?
Right.
And we also stay away from tea and health.
Yes.
It's tea, right?
Yes.
And we
So we
want
don't
everybody to be
participate.
well, but we
Right.
also aren't grabbing for those COVID SEO stuff.
Yes. But this video will be about COVID.
Mhm.
And it's okay. So what happened is yesterday in our live session, we kind of touch on. Hello, guys. So we kind of touch on that how I'm a true believer. I believe in TCM. I use that at home. We didn't talk too much, and we do preventative drinks.
Practice it, I think, is
Right.
a better word than believe, right?
Right. So we didn't talk much about what we do to prevent that because that's not what we want to do on this channel, and we prefer not to say much about it. But that does lead to a little bit of private message after the live session, and of course, it's related to because some people also follow some other major tea YouTubers.
Yeah. So we've been watching the other major tea YouTubers and pretty much unimpressed with some of the responses to COVID. And
I didn't. Okay, so I want to very clarify that today I'm talking about a specific tea YouTuber who posts a video about COVID-19 and immune system, and at the end there was some herbal suggestions and stuff. So this is the major topic of today. And I follow this YouTuber for a long time, and I saw that video pop up in my thread, but I never click on that because I just not interested in seeing YouTubers talk about much about this kind of, and that's why we're doing this live session. I have notes here. Make sure I got all my points here and my cell phone here to show there are some things I want to show you guys.
Yeah, and I saw the video actually several days before her, and I got to admit I was completely convinced because I'm not as versed. I'm not as versed in these topics. So I just kind of, okay, whatever. And then I was pretty surprised when
we like to keep all the videos light and fluffy and positive, and I think that's what our job as is a tea news is where you share those things. But in this video it might be a little bit harsh and everything, but anyways, so and this video is not about those who don't who think TCM is snake oil or anything. I'm not here to change your mind.
That's right.
You don't practice, you don't believe it, you think it's not scientific or anything. That's totally fine.
Fine
you
by
do
us.
Whatever. Yeah, like we make our own choice. But this video is for those who drink herbal teas or doing believe in those or acupunctures and stuff.
Yeah. Or if you're using tisane to try and help in your
for your
personal
health
battle,
benefit.
for your health benefit.
This is a video for you, or if you know any friend, they don't have to watch it, but you can pass along this ideal and very important ideal. Pass this along. Okay, so and Phil is here today to help me, as usual, help me with my English. And because we live together for a long time, if there's anything that I didn't express well in English, or it was a misunderstanding from his very Western views, he would help clarify or even ask questions. And during this session, I wouldn't be reading the comments or questions because I want to get my whole idea through without forgetting something. But you are more than welcome to leave the comments or
we'll get back to them.
Questions. We will get back to them. Okay. So take a sip of tea, I think.
Yeah, here. And while she has a sip, I'll just recap. So what we're trying to do is talk a bit about what we're hearing in the West vis-a-vis and why it seems irresponsible or dangerous to us. We want to also go over what was done in China vis-a-vis TCM and share with you some of the news that broke there that will not break here. You won't hear about it here because it's very different approaches. And that's what we're going to cover today.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
I'm having my tea wine just to.
It's a tea channel. So what are we drinking? Right? You will be wondering. It is premium autumn Taiguanyin. I'm brewing up today because I want to keep everybody calm.
Oops, Daisy.
Stray leaf. Get back in there. So brewing up a premium autumn Taiguanyin. It's a very mellow, still has all that aroma, but it's mellow. It's an autumn harvest, beautiful.
Okay. So in his video, first, I agree with most of the suggestions, which are pretty safe suggestions, like drinking water, have sufficient sleep and rest and all that. What I have a major problem, and I think it's very irresponsible and unprofessional, is at the later part when it touches on Chinese herbal medicine. And there are two major things. First is his qualification, which seems meaningful, but also meaningless. So mention about growing up in Chinese medicine family, have been in multiple associations. What's key missing is what is the medical school you went to? What is the practice, like where is your license? Are you licensed? And also any hospitals or real clinic experience, real hospitals. So those are matters. I know for many people, when it comes to TCM, which is Chinese traditional medicine.
Traditional
Chinese medicine. It belongs to alternative medicines and remedies and stuff. So people seems to be okay that their qualification is
loose. Because I get the feeling in the West that we really feel like, well, that can't hurt. And we would never say that about prescription medicine. You won't take, well, you might, but you shouldn't. Everybody knows you shouldn't. If Jen has a prescription medicine, she won't say, oh, you have a similar symptom? Have some of my medicine.
Right.
That's not a good way to think about it.
That's right. And also when you go to a Western medicine, like how they would introduce their qualification. Yes, they might grow up in a family with medical tradition, like doctor's family or stuff. They will never live out the university they graduated, the medical school they attended. So this is what I'm seeing, and there's no such thing was mentioned in that video. And those are really important. So what really happens so the whole Chinese traditional medicine system in China and here are different. The real Chinese TCM doctor, they go to real medical school, after graduating from high schools, going to university, real university, 7 to 8 years of proper medical training. They also have Western medicine, like you wouldn't be approaching somebody and talk Western medicine language and they were like, what? Because I'm a Chinese medicine. That wouldn't happen with real traditional Chinese medicine. They all have some Western background. That's in their courses.
Some background in Western medicine.
Yes, they would understand. Mandatory. And to be able to be a real traditional Chinese TCM doctor in China, you need to have a license, which takes years to acquire. The whole system is very similar to Western medicine.
It's treated with similar rigor as being a Western medical doctor. You cannot just hang a sign up. If you do, there's legal problems. You got to have the correct credentials and the correct certifications.
Yes. And they also have an internship in real hospital, a full hospital. Okay, not a business like a clinic kind of thing. A real hospital would have that. And so what I wanted to say is a lot of times when people approach those herbal, I cannot say for any other remedy because I don't know much about that. For TCM, if it's a doctor, you go to a doctor, you ask almost the same or more in terms of the qualification compared to Western doctor. Don't think, oh, it's okay that I'm not sure if he went to the real medical school. And also the experience in Chinese TCM is crucial. Like how many patients a TCM doctor will see here in the Western, 20, 50, 100, but in China it's hundreds a day. So those also counts as real medical practices in real hospital. Those all matters. Okay, so very important, all kind of associations, and that those are like good to have, okay?
Yeah.
But real license, real medical background in real medical schools are not optional. And that also reflects in the prescription that he gave in later, okay? So in that prescription, it's just screaming out irresponsible and unqualified to have that. So, so I just want to quickly show you guys, in terms of the herbal combinations or prescriptions, it's also given by Chinese doctors and associations. I don't think you would be able to see much.
Maybe.
Okay, those are all Chinese, and I don't know if they have translated that in English. I just want to point out a few differences between the professional one. Those are given by real doctors in China. They're the elite doctor in different provinces.
These are prescriptions given related to COVID.
Yes,
right?
and related to COVID, and you can find that online.
So I want to clarify that because that's a pretty interesting response that China had that I don't think was mentioned at all in Western media. So, and it was news to me just a few minutes ago, is that China. So first of all, Chinese Western medicine and Chinese traditional Chinese medicine are not two separate things, right? They've actually been working together for some time. I don't want to get into a bunch of the details there, but that's already something that from a Western perspective, I'm like, oh, wow, that's very forward thinking. Second, they worked together to issue, so the top TCM doctors worked to put together safe prescriptions for the general population, and they issued them by province, by region. And Jen will get into more on that, but yes, I just want to make sure that's crystal clear. And
major difference is when it came out, when they gave out these prescriptions to the public, every province released their version. And initially that caused a lot of confusion in Chinese people. And honestly, TCM is just like, tea in China. People seem to know a lot of, so familiar with it, but not necessarily know enough about that, because when they see the prescriptions, they notice every provinces have a different combination, different herbal. Yeah, they're not sure. They think they might be better to go with the Beijing version because
privileged region or something like that.
Yes, it's the capital. Right? It's not like that. So they had to hold a conference, official conference, like Health Canada would do.
Yeah, like a press conference. An official press conference.
Yes, and explain that. Okay, this whole thing is not about which region has a better combination. It's,
or more money or whatever.
Right. This combination is those doctors working in your provinces, knowing the climate, the base of the people's...
It's tuned to the individual, of course, not individual, but to the regional constitution in general. And it comes with qualifiers. I don't know if I jumped too quickly to that, but
qualifiers.
Yeah, like they didn't just give them out and say, go for it. They gave them out and
yes,
said,
that's the next one.
Right.
So, but this one, I just wanted to say that different provinces, because say Guangdong is really humid and hot, but while in the Yangtze River, the area is humid, but it has distinctive four-season. The climate is different, the diet is different, the people who are more inclined to have different diseases. So, so that's why they're tuned for their region, and they suggest people, if you're gonna take those, you take based on your province rather than somewhere else. So that would be more effective for you. So that's the big thing. And for us, we have 1,000 followers. It's not a huge follower, but we do have people from
we already see we have people just yesterday, Oregon, Czech Republic, all over. Really different regions and really
different climate. They have a different stuff. And for a YouTuber who has a 50K of follower, I don't think it's hard to imagine there are people who living outside of England who are in different situations, have one prescription that doesn't mention anything about do's and don'ts and stuff. And another difference you will notice is in all those prescriptions, they will tell you how to drink this. Is boil, or is that just simply steep? And many regions and provinces, they gave several prescriptions, and they tells you what is each one of them suitable for. Some says some have a prescription that is ideal for people in the 20s, 30s, 40s, because they're in a stronger stage of life. And some prescription are for younger kids or elderly. And they also would tell you, or this is not suitable for pregnant ladies, or they would tell you when to use what in a very high level, because this is aimed at the general public, but they still have to do it because
I think it's aimed at the general public as an emergency response. This isn't something they do. It's not something they do never, but it's not something they do lightheartedly.
Yes. They really, TCM, if you have any experience with that, is really one doctor to you, one patient with their prescription. And just want to say that maybe some people think the herbal, all those plants and the dose he gave is just a suggestion. It's not a prescription. You cannot look at it as a prescription. However, in TCM, that is a prescription. And if you go to a real Chinese TCM, the pharmacy, if you bring that kind of combination of herbal herbs and stuff, they will have to see your original copy with the doctor's signature on it. Yeah. They won't just give you all the medicines, right? So, and there's no disclaimer, okay? When you give people those kind of prescription, it's not a disclaimer that can save it, that, oh, it's up to you to take it, I didn't say anything. It's a serious medical thing. If any medical accident happens, your signature is what they investigate the case. Yeah. The procedure is very similar to the Western medicine, where the doctor's signatures, there's
accountability. Yes. So I want to sum that up. What we're saying, why we're doing this video, is that when Jen looked at that particular,
it's 13 hours.
Sorry about that. When she looked at that particular remedy, it actually has, it is a prescription under TCM. So TCM was mentioned in the video, and then there was a remedy given, a quote unquote remedy with a disclaimer, when in fact what that would be under TCM is a prescription. And if you just walk into a real TCM pharmacy, they will say, I need to see a real prescription. I cannot give you this combo of herbs without a doctor's signature. Yes. What that means is that in TCM, that's a serious thing. That's like giving out prescription medicine on YouTube.
Yes.
Think about that.
Yes. And also, if you examine across all the prescription, all the herbs, the real Chinese doctor, TCM doctor, are giving out. None of them include an ingredients called lingzhi, and in English, this I would need his help because I don't know how to pronounce it. Ganoderma
lucidum.
Lucidum. So it's
I may have hacked it up too. I don't know. I think it's a Latin name for an herb.
So why I want to point this out is because this commonly, I actually got asked several times before, because we have friends who are into tea, into
herbs
holistic
and
wellness,
plant-based wellness,
yes,
and holistic wellness.
showed me this before, and those are considered super mushrooms, super healthy, improve your wellness, your well-being and stuff. And however, it is a Chinese it's a TCM medicine herb. So it's medicinal.
And it's not like
not
a light one.
A mushroom like enoki. Okay, it's totally different.
Or king oyster, just in case they don't know what enoki is.
It's not like, it's considered life-saving medicine. Consider that like a ventilator. Okay, it's for those people who are in ICU, last really crucial moments with COVID, they need a ventilator to save their lives. But you don't use that because we're trying to prevent it, right? I wouldn't use a ventilator on myself because I think that might save my life. It's good. So that's a very potent.
Or like insulin, maybe to use something else. It's not like you would take insulin to help you prevent diabetes. It's a turnaround medicine. It's one that you take when you're in dire straits and we need to see a sharp turnaround.
Yeah.
Okay.
People might have that when they're just after like big surgery, really weak, can barely talk, that initial recovery phase, or really elderly people who would have some of those. But to put that in a general prescription and to just, for people in their, especially like teenagers or 20, 30, 40 years old, it's just too much. If you ever want those,
who are actually likely in this target group.
Yes.
Very likely in the whole plant-based holistic.
If you really want to take that, go to a proper, really qualified TCM doctor, get that checked, ask them if this medicine is proper for me. So it's, again, same protocols as Western medicine, right? And that's not something that is rare to see, because a lot of tisanes, a lot of herbal teas that promote for how should I say, marketing for health benefits. They only tells people how good this is, but they never say what are this kind of say blend good for, or some people should avoid. A very simple how should I say, a very simple
litmus
example.
Test, or a good test, or example.
I was going to say like a ginger is widely used as a really good energizing immune system, everything, right? All good things about that. But in some, if used in some people, for example, especially teenagers, are like full of young, really heat symptoms. When they have too much ginger, they might have problems sleeping, right? So that might not be ideal for them, or the quantity should not be as much as some other people. It is very important to watch out what your body is. Like, we are different. He wears t-shirt, I need a sweater. There is a difference. So with all those herbal teas that for health benefit, especially those who use TCM herbs on it, be cautious, okay? I think all the people who are selling those and stuff, I strongly suggest you to, before you publish your formula, check with a qualified TCM doctor. Is that really suitable for general public? And mark what is that good, what are the people good for, and what are the people you should avoid this blend, maybe go to that blend. Right,
especially now that it's so easy to go global. So I just want to, there's a bunch of people join, maybe you can have a sip of tea, and I'll just mention, all I want to mention is maybe you can have a sip of tea. I'll just mention, for all of those pushing out questions, keep them coming. If you feel like we're not going to answer them, we are going to get to them at the end. I just want to let you know that.
Right.
So back to our regular programming.
feel like I was talking a lot. I really like just to have tea and have pizza, have some cheerful moment. I don't just feel like, I'm a tea vendor. Anyways, so a little bit more, and I also want to share with you some news you might not hear in especially North American media. Some fact about how TCM have been participating in China's coping with COVID-19 since the beginning to the end, actually.
Yeah, very interesting stuff.
Highly involved. It is not, and again, in the core like medical group in China, there's no discussion about if TCM work or not. It works, and how to make that a complement with the Western medicine. And in this COVID-19, they work together hand in hand to
right from the start.
Yes. In early times, they help people to really how should I say? Because when Wuhan just locked down, there are situations just like in North America and many severe situations that tons and tons of people are not getting diagnosis, and all they could do is, suffering at home and waiting for the government's help or from health system. What?
Nothing.
Okay. What? Anyways, so they also so what they do is sending out the TCM medicines for those people who are locked down at home and waiting for the medical care. And of course, it's not easy. TCM is not widely recognized in China either. So in early times when they give out those medicines, they only successfully delivered 4,000 bags of it.
Like they had plenty of supply, but people were reluctant to accept it. It's foreign, and they were skeptical.
Yes.
Natural, right?
Yes, and after several days, they were able to give out 10,000 bags, and the number increased in the, as the time goes, and really help with people. So in early times, their target is to help people preventing, or when somebody already have those symptoms, ease their symptoms. Slow down their development from low or medium severity to drastic, like declining.
Keep them out of the ICU kind of thing. Like at least keep them. And those were those all the same medicines for each of those phases, i.e., prevention?
No, they have a very they really customize that to different.
Depending on where you're at.
TCM doesn't kill coronavirus. The way they work is different. So, and they also work in ICU hand in hand with Western medicine, because medical equipment and resources are in short. Imagine the population in China. So they also work hand in hand with that to help ease the tension on these resources. And the target was to help reduce death rate. And also after that is help people recovering. There's many data, and they actually, because TCM have been working on, they call that modernized, but it's actually more of translating.
Yes.
In the different language, translating to the modern science language. So in this kind of a COVID-19 situation, they did a lot of comparisons where they had a whole hospital built for COVID-19 that only uses TCM, and all the patients were there. They were light to medium levels severities, and the result was 0 was turned to no was sent to ICU kind of situation.
Right. So they really did, quote unquote, flatten the curve.
Right.
Keep the situation from.
So they're also trying to do a lot of numbers and comparisons and trying to translate that in the modern scientific way to make that more accessible for more people. So why do I need to tell you this? Because those were not likely to be reported on a lot of the news here, and those are just some medical things. And I'm not giving you, there's no prescription. Any prescription, herbal combinations, go to a real qualified doctor, and just be cautious, because it's the Chinese TCM, it doesn't mean
it's harmless at all.
Yes.
This is like, for me as an engineer and sort of more of a scientifically minded person, I really struggled with this in the beginning, and admittedly I still do, right? But the way I look at it is, and again, I'm not trying to convince you. If TCM is not your thing, I don't care. It's not that's fine by me. But the way I look at it is, and the way I differentiate it from other alternative medicines is, this has been in practice for thousands of years. They have not just been arbitrarily adding remedies. They discard remedies that don't work, and they use a fundamentally different model to describe the human situation. Things I like about it is it's very individualized, and it's very custom to the person, and like she was saying, the region and everything. So it's an old system. It predates scientific method. And I find it very interesting that in China, there's a move underway now to go backwards and explain why do some of these herbs work and how do they work, and see what they can, and I like the idea that they're working together, especially in a situation like they had with COVID, to just reduce the impact on people, to reduce the human cost, basically.
Right.
We can talk about keeping resources free and all that. It's actually to reduce the human cost.
Yes. And again, like we emphasize that many times, that this video is not to convince anybody to say, okay, now I use that or not or anything. No, it's for people who are all using this. I just want you to be cautious about you taking those medicinal herbs.
That's right. Don't be under the assumption that because it's alternative medicine, that it actually doesn't do anything and cannot hurt you. And also, I don't know if we pointed this out, but the symptoms you would experience, the negative symptoms, are not like they may not be as severe as we're used to feeling.
Like puking or any severe might not be like that. Maybe it's just
get a bunch of pimples, or you're sweating more than normal, or you cannot sleep. But those are precursors to worse situations. So when you saw that come out with such harsh medicine on a prescription, if it really disturbed her. And our goal here is just to help. We know a lot of tea people are into these herbal remedies. It's something you really look for. We get asked about it all the time. Do we have this or that herb? No, we only have tea. We're tea vendors. We're not here to give you medical advice. We're just throwing out a caution to watch out for those who are throwing out. And why we're telling you to be careful, because they didn't tell you it's medical advice. I don't know if they don't know or whatever, but in China, that would be considered medical advice. And they gave out a prescription with no doctor's signature. So watch out.
Yes.
Okay, that's about it, I think. Do you have anything else? I don't want to cut you off. But
no, I think that's the major point. Sure. Is there any questions? Probably not.
I wasn't supposed to read the questions while I was going because it's really distracting, but I couldn't help it.
Yorkshire Gold.
Yeah, so someone was having a Yorkshire Gold, but they had a Dawuye before.
What is that?
Yorkshire Gold? You don't know Yorkshire Gold?
No.
Oh, it's a brand of black tea, right? Anyway, I used to drink it before I got into Chinese tea, and now I'm going to go find myself some, and we're going to have it. I'm going to introduce you to Yorkshire Gold.
Okay. I like that. See, this is what I like to do. I don't want to.
We don't want to have
really
those
messages
with so much gravitas.
Yes, but I also I feel like I need to say that because nobody's talking. This is so important. Anyway, back to that.
So for those on Instagram, we're going over some of the YouTube questions. We're going to get to yours too. Don't worry.
Yes.
Can I get water while we do that? We'll have some more tea. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. 铁观音 really calm me down. Okay, so I just drank some 大乌叶. Oh, lovely. I don't know, when I feel a little bit unstable, I like those fragrant teas. Okay, Oregon, who needs doctor when will save us all with magical pour and herbs. What is that? Is that a kitten in the bag? This is so true. So many people believe that herbal medicine is only positive. Okay, is that herbal medicine?
Just a second.
Medicine?
I got to come back to that's Sockbert.
Okay,
that's a Dilbert character, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's I don't know, what is it? Maybe at a desk or something. I don't know.
That's the things that Rice said. Okay. it's only positive and totally harmless. It can be actually be extreme potent and dangerous. Always do lots of research. Yes,
yeah, 100%.
Yes, and turn to a real doctor. It really matters.
Yeah. Right? Maybe the good message there is don't just count on your own research, especially getting into some of those.
Because of the online information, especially about those pros and cons and stuff, can be quite mixing messages.
And it's sketchy in the West, big time. You know,
and we're not equipped to fully understand our body state, which is a big thing.
Which the TCM doctor is. Like those mushroom power food, just put that in your food as much as you can. And those were okay, next one.
I'm not sure what that is. Old eyes, you know?
I think
old eyes? That's a kitten in a box.
Right. She's not sure about the kitten. Yeah, we're not sure either. We all agree on that. Okay, good. I didn't know what that meant too when I read it, but now I realize it's in reference to the sockbird, sockbird emoji. And also, you know, old eyes. I don't know what it is.
I'm currently drinking a sample of your aged show me. Very yummy. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
That's a really good. Don't forget to boil it once you think it's done. Brewing.
Yeah, if you're doing a Gaiwan session, by all means, throw this quote unquote spent leaf in a nice pot and boil it. Boil it hard, and you'll get a nice few more rounds out of it. Yeah. And I'm going to have it later today because of you. Thank you for reminding me about that.
Right. And Sockbird says, I prefer the regular Yorkshire to the gold.
Ooh, I didn't know there was regular. Bad. I only knew about the gold. So now we're going to get both. And we're going to try both. I have a feeling the gold's probably buds. I'm totally guessing, right? Because they tend to have that color. But yeah. And hey, guys, thanks for keeping this about tea. I love that. Okay.
Yes, I really like that. Yeah. Okay, I really.
This is not going to happen often, right? We just want to have tea and have fun.
Yes. Here, LB said, I got here late. Do you guys take any Chinese medicinal herbs? I don't know enough about them to feel comfortable taking them personally.
That's a great way to feel.
That's a great way. Yes, we do. And we do take some preventative herbs for that. Like I mentioned, I'm not a doctor and I won't.
Not comfortable sharing that because it's very personal.
Right.
It's not what we do. We're not qualified. Despite her, there's something Jen takes very seriously. She does a lot of study in that, but she didn't go to med school, and when we were
license matters. Yeah. You know what I mean? I could,
and when we were
I could do that to him because we live together. We know what's going on. I can monitor. I know how to monitor every little details of what's going on.
That's right.
But I don't know you or anybody.
Like earlier on, right? We talked about, if you come from a family of doctors, does that make you qualified? Of course, it's not qualified.
But you might know some good.
But you might help out your family. Totally fine.
Yes.
Totally fine. So
So sorry, I wouldn't be able to share anything. And if you're interested, go to a proper Chinese TCM doctor and
check their credentials.
I know in the West. You gotta check if they say they graduated from some certain schools or worked in some certain hospitals. I know it sounds crazy, but Google it, see if they actually exist.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and ask to see their license, and ask a lot of what I hear here is I'm trained in China.
Oh, right.
Are you licensed in China or trained in
China? Same. Those people who take major in medical school in acupuncture. They are full 7-8 years, like those full medical school lengths with practice in real patients, and they all know that what is the English word? The bones and the
anatomy.
They all know anatomy. That's a must learn for them. They have to know those Western everything together with acupuncturists, not some people who trained 3 or 6 months and start to put a needle in people's body.
Yeah, it's another thing that can really mess you up.
Yes, it's a serious thing. Okay, in China, they're using TCM to help people, cope with the cancer. Not to say, that kills cancer cells. That's not how TCM work, but they help a lot when people are in chemos, when their skin is burned, or when their appetite or sleep are wrapped. They help
alleviate symptoms.
Right. And they also they always work with Western medicine together to help patients have less tendency to when the cancer come back,
go into remission. Go into remission, I think they call it.
Okay,
we're tea vendors, we're not doctors.
Yes, and I really have limited English medical words. So all those are serious things. Acupuncture, serious. Cupping and gua sha. I know it's very trendy right now in some regions. If you are looking for a cure or treatment for a specific real disease rather than just a holistic well-being, go to a real doctor. Okay, those are real medical
practices.
Right. Okay. Where am I? Sorry, just continue the YouTube.
So you're currently drinking a sample of HOMA. We did that.
Yeah. Kitten in the box. Yeah, I thought so. Was kitten in the box. This long word of that name that I don't pronounce well in English.
What, sockbird?
Kitten in a box. The kitten, you don't open it. You don't.
Oh, that has a name?
Yeah. Schrodinger's
cat?
Something like that. No?
Oh,
I thought that's what she said. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that's maybe what it means. So. Yeah. Oh, that's
Schrodinger. Oh, really challenging for my tongue.
Is that a cat in a box?
I thought so.
I think you're right. I think it was.
Okay. Yorkshire.
Oh, Yorkshire. It's spelled Yorkshire, but it's pronounced Yorkshire.
Tea is a black tea brand, very popular in the UK. Highly recommended if you've never.
I'm definitely, and I didn't know there was a non-gold version, just regular Yorkshire. So I'm gonna grab both, and we're gonna have that. Well, maybe we'll do a live side by side, Yorkshire and Yorkshire Gold. I love doing that.
I like that.
And I only had.
Is that the straight or blend?
Who knows? It's English. No, nothing.
I mean, not like an Earl Grey that has it's flavor.
Correct. You guys out there probably know better. I think that one is a pure black tea, though. It might be a blend of different tea leaves, but I don't think it's scented like Earl Grey.
Right.
But I had that way back before I was kind of into Chinese tea, so I never really gave it proper infuse. I didn't pay attention. I just drank it. So let's get back to. So we're heading over. We've covered all the YouTube questions. We're doing our high-tech side-by-side YouTube, Instagram dual live cast, and we're going to jump over to the Instagram questions now.
Okay.
And share those.
First, Assam. No, we're drinking
Yorkshire Gold is probably Assam.
Sorry.
But I don't know.
I wasn't sure. That's
I don't know either. Who knows, right? Everything's kind of floating context. Do you want to go backwards or go from the top down? I don't know.
That's the curve. I'm still on the learning curve. I thought I mastered it. Okay. Lots of waves, and thank you guys for waving and joining us here and here.
No. You're backwards. You're reading backwards. Yeah, go to the top and come down.
Really?
Yeah, based on those comments, it's backwards. Yeah. So wave. Everybody got in and wave. Hello, everybody.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the beginning. There
okay.
100 ml Chazo clay teapot. Okay, here I saw this earlier, and
yes.
So let's see if we can.
My bad. And I got a question if you think you can answer. If you are still here or there, yes, if you have a question. Sorry,
yeah, you can shoot your question in. That's why in the middle I kind of mentioned if you have questions, keep them coming.
Yeah.
So Bell M18, if you're still around and you still have your question, you can definitely shoot it our way. If you're not and you see this later, go on our website. We've got you can email us through the website.
Right.
We'll do our best.
Right. Space between black and white.
Oh, space between black and white.
We saw. I feel
I feel like there is unhealthy marketing in relation to COVID-19 and tea. Oh, big time. Anyway, when it's more simple and true to just say that tea has the ability to make you happy, and that is healthy. Yeah, 100% agree. And that's our position on it. We don't. Yeah. I hope this isn't viewed as an attempt at us to get in on the COVID tea craze. We've purposely been avoiding it because we're tea vendors, and tea is delicious, and medicine is medicine, and medicine needs a degree.
And not to mention, COVID-19 is so new. Every study are just doing that. In which case, I wanted to tell you guys, there was a study from the Yunnan University discovered that EGCG in tea seems to have effect to prevent the COVID virus attached to some protein.
Right.
That was the first step of
the
getting into the human system.
And makes the bond weaker.
Yeah, or makes the bond weaker. It's just one study.
Really preliminary.
See. Okay, I'm not saying everybody go drink green tea or anything. I'm just letting you know because that wouldn't be reported in a lot of media. And also on the media reports, there was no way we can see their methodology or their limitations or stuff. It's really just like almost all media coverage, very basic conclusions, just to let you know. Okay?
Yeah. So the next comment from Space Between Black and White was related to the first one. In regard to herbs, though, I feel as if they are mismarketed in the West. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. There's those innocuous herbs that you can just take and they're not a big deal. You can have them. They might give you make you feel better, make you sleep better, whatever. But there's also those herbs, and that's what concerned Jen so much. There's also those herbs or combinations of herbs that are sneaking in that are actually prescriptions, and you shouldn't goof around with those.
Right.
And so the Space Between Black and White, TCM is external alchemy. There is also the ability for internal alchemy for healing. I don't know what alchemy is, changing gold to lead. So I don't know. No, lead to gold. So
gold to lead. Who would do that? That's so depressing.
So it's transformative, external transformation versus internal transformation. Yeah. Okay. That is why Taoist medicine as opposed to Chinese medicine is cool. Plus the entire thing is focused from Shen to Qi to Jing. You can call it. I have no idea what's being discussed there anymore.
Yes, there is a difference in terms of a Taoist medicine and TCM, and they're not. They are highly similar, but with some difference. I don't know if you guys have. Probably you heard of what Qi is, right? There are life force. So I just want to. Yes. Qi. I just want to quickly touch on that. Again, I just want to explain that. A lot of thing is that the TCM language is not in English language, so it's hard to understand, right? Because in TCM, Qi also has its way of flowing, while veins, we have blood on it. So I usually compare that between cars on the street vis-a-vis airplane in the sky. What is the similarity? They all have their own ways. Where you have roads for cars that is indicated, okay. So consider that like a blood in the string. You can see the rules of where you are going, the directions, and how. Well, in the sky, we don't see roads, right? But those airplanes are not flying random. That would be a disaster.
Right.
They have their own course. It's just not visible to us. Right. So just want to talk about.
And to add to the metaphor, to see the airplane roads, you need to be a specialist.
Yes.
Right. Any air traffic controller knows that.
Right.
All right. Cool. Noel, join in, and I think, oh no, here we go. Hello, all the waves is awesome. Tea questions are awesome too. It's all about.
Hey Cha.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Hey Cha Holiday. Hey Cha Holiday asks, I just bought some 15-year Chen-pi.
Yeah, Chen-pi.
But mostly to blend with show.
Yes. See,
no, I don't know what that means.
Chen-pi is an aged orange pill, which is really good and help digest meat and help regulate the fat content in blood. Very good. On the other hand, pregnant women might not have it because Chen-pi also kind of, in Western language, promote the circulations and stuff, could possibly cause some sensitivities to have abortion. So with the Chinese medicine, with normal people, if we have some Chen-pi, it's actually good for digestions and all that jazz. It's just all those herbal things are pros and cons, suitable for and not good for.
So Nuev Orden says, great informative context. Thank you, Nuev.
Thank you.
And again, for those maybe just join, this was a special message, not our normal type of video, because we saw some advice that looked really dangerous, and we're not sharing any advice, any prescriptions, we're not trying to change anyone's mind about how they take care of their health. We're tea vendors, and we saw something. There's a lot of COVID-19 tea stuff out there, and and we weren't going to comment on it at all, but some of it was dangerous, and we know you guys are watching that, and
I didn't unsubscribe from them. We didn't unsubscribe from them because we love their tea video. You know, he's very dynamic when he talk about tea.
We should also emphasize that everything wasn't bad about the video. The prescription was the part.
That's the only part. Okay, the rest
a bunch of good advice in the video. So it's not just there's no black and white here. There's space between black and white, which brings me to space between black and white's next question.
Good one.
Awesome handle, space between black and white. I had the most beautiful boiled 2004 Shen last night. I saw that earlier and I was like, cool, you boiled some Shen. I might start trying that, right? Especially if I'm burning the midnight oil, which again is not recommended, but sometimes it's necessary.
Right.
Space between black and white continues. After about 14 steepings, it made the sweetest, most beautiful liquor. Wow. Wow, yes. Cool.
A lot of
But it took a 45-minute boil.
Oh, wow.
That's a serious boil. You really squeezed it out. Whoops, we're struggling with Instagram and the phone and trying to scroll up. Thank you for sharing that. So just to emphasize this, it's all about the tea on this channel. This is what we love to talk about.
We want to focus on
this energizes us and makes us happy. I don't know, for those of you who have been with us for a while, I didn't get up to go get a new kettle because I could tell you were really stressed delivering this, and
because it's medical stuff.
It's not our.
This is not my job to.
Mad Hatter Tea Drunk joined. I just read that and they waved, and I just love that. I just love that handle as well. And then you guys are saying hi to each other, which I love. That. I really love that. This is awesome. It's what it's all about, community and having fun. So then Assam question mark. I think that was in context to the Yorkshire Gold. I'm not sure. We'll look into that. So I'm going to grab somebody was drinking Yorkshire Gold and she doesn't know what that is. So I'm like, so we're going to go out and get some Yorkshire Gold. Hey, but Yorkshire Gold, is that a brand or do I need to try and get a good Yorkshire Gold? Like maybe somebody can shoot that back to us and let us know if my impression is it's a brand. So if I go get a Yorkshire and a Yorkshire Gold, I'll be solid. Yorkshire, aren't those? I hope this isn't a negative term, but I think people from Yorkshire are called Geordies.
Oh, okay. So thank you. Space between black and white. 神气精. Because we say that 精气神, that's why when I saw that, I didn't realize what it is. Plus, because it's English spelling, I don't have the tones. Yes, that's very essential. Yes. And that's the essential kind of theories. So for those on YouTube, we're going through the comments on Instagram right now. We've already gone through the YouTube comments. There's a few more coming in. So they're having a nice chat, I think.
That's awesome. So H.A. Holiday says, can't take random herbs without messing with your liver or kidneys. Yeah. Definitely stay away from random herbs. Herbs should be carefully mixed. H.A. Holiday, I've always wanted to try tea in a pressure cooker. Ayomaya.
Oh, we never did tea in pressure cooker, but I used the espresso. No. Mocha pot. I used the mocha pot to make a rock tea. I forgot which one I chose. Oh, it wasn't bad. I think I wouldn't do green tea in that, but it wasn't bad. I also reduced the dose of the tea.
I don't remember that. Did you do that without me?
I told you. I definitely told you. It was in that little mocha pot we have.
I'm going to try that again because I don't remember that. And it's
actually not too bad.
It sounds pretty gross, though. I got to admit.
No, you have to reduce the leaf amount.
Sure. I always want to try tea in a pressure cooker. So anyway, that would be cool. That would really squeeze it out. I'm not sure. But maybe a spent tea could be good. Like it's just a quick way to get at that. What was that boil? 45-minute boil. You could probably do it in 15 minutes or so.
Right.
Space between black and white at H.A. Holiday. That would probably be great as long as it's just for tea. I think we're in regards to the pressure cooker.
Right.
I think it's, I see. As long as it's not right after you finish a stew or a lamb and then put your tea in it and maybe get some of the anise and stuff. Yeah, you mix the flavors. I think it's a brand. Okay, so Yorkshire Gold. I think it's a brand, but I've never enjoyed English teas.
Okay. Yeah, worst case, I make bubble tea.
Yeah, that's right. If it's really bad, we'll just make bubble tea with it. We do that with a lot of the samples we get that are hard. H.A. Holiday, I have cheap Hui Juan to try with maybe.
That's actually a good one. Yeah. Okay, come back here.
Coming back to YouTube, and then we'll probably wrap up.
Professional reporter.
All right, so where do I pick up here? Interesting that most tea people on YouTube don't. Oh wow, there's a lot. Oh yeah, cannot eat touch screen anymore.
Don't touch. Oh, here.
For regular Yorkshire Gold.
Here, yeah.
Oh, where did we get to? Interesting that most, that's the one I should read. So LB says, it's interesting that most tea people on YouTube don't seem to talk much about Indian teas. Does anyone here commonly drink Darjeeling or other Indian teas? Great question. Great question. And somebody answers. So I'm going to let's let their conversation unwind and then maybe we'll chime in. So LB popped that out. Brandon K answers back. And again, for people on YouTube, we're reading this for the people on Instagram because they can't see your comments, which is vibrant. Right. We're kind of mixing the communities up here. So we're going to read through them. So sorry if it's boring for the YouTubers and vice versa, but here we go. Brandon K says back to LB, I drink Darjeeling sometimes and Assam is such a lovely tea. Yeah. Here. Assam is pu'er, right?
Cultivar.
Cultivar. The cultivar is pu'er cultivar. Sockbird. LB, I do. So Sockbird also drinks Darjeeling, definitely. Second and autumn flush Darjeeling and Assam's mainly. Yum. And we are next to our friends at Toronto Tea Festival, right? The
Capital Tea.
Capital Tea. We always like to share our favorite teas.
He has a really nice
and he has some really nice Darjeelings. It's always a struggle because we're drinking so much tea for the purpose of figuring out what's good to put on the website and everything. We're really focused on Chinese tea, but we got asked yesterday about Japanese tea. I love trying Japanese tea and different ones. Love trying Indian teas. It's hard to squeeze it in between. I think they can be underrated for sure. And I agree, right? Yeah. Underrated means more for me. And you're right. Yeah. Yay. So it doesn't push the market up. Sockbird. Taylors of Harrogate makes Yorkshire brand. Oh, okay. Okay, maybe it's kind of a licensed brand. Brandon K, I've also had a really lovely Earl Grey Darjeeling blend at a cafe that was so yummy. That does sound fun. And that would go pretty good. They have that hard wither flavor with those flowers and stuff. And the, what is it in Earl Grey? The Bermagon.
Bermagon. I don't know.
That the B word.
The B word.
The Cynthia Rice says, I drink lots of different types of tea, including from David's Tea and Bird and Blend. Awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. And we get asked about David's a lot. And I love David's because it gets people into tea. And that's the bottom line. If people are getting into tea, yay. Yeah. Joseph Burton, doing a paper on ancient... Oh, yes, you were translating yesterday. Doing a paper on ancient medicine and ancient tragedy right now. This discussion on TCM has been fascinating in this context of similar traditions. Wow, that is so cool, Joseph. Thanks for shooting that in. We talk about this a lot because I feel like I would be so interested to find out what the Greeks were doing. We quote unquote in the West don't have traditional medicine, but I don't think that's true. I think it's simply lost. I think of course, ancients.
There's a lot of, I think, like historical reasons that people just naturally stay away from those things without much looking into that or even understand what they mean.
Not the least of which is market driven and trying to push you away from that. So that's cool, Joseph. Thanks for sharing that. Brandon K says, back to the Cynthia Rice. So lots of different teas, including David's, blah, blah, blah. So then the response from Brandon was, yeah, I know a lot of tea snobs don't like David's tea, but they have a lot of blends that I love. Yeah. Here. Here's to David's.
Yeah.
David's tea is so accessible too, which is nice. Yep, 100% agree. I like their Saigon chai. Cool, I will try that. And Sockbird. Geordies are from Newcastle. Thank you. I had that really mixed up. That was so wrong what I said. I said I thought Geordies were from Yorkshire, but he corrected me. They're from Newcastle. I got a buddy from Newcastle. So sorry, Andy. I mixed up your lineage. It's just what the English call people from a certain city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's way up north. They have a bit of a different accent. They're kind of, anyway, they're super fun people. At least this guy is. I'm going to paint you all with the same brush because of Andy. No, just kidding. Anyway, so that was cool. This has been an awesome video. We wanted to share with you our concerns about some videos, but in the end, I'm glad we could bring it back to the tea and just having fun.
Yes.
Wow, we only have 30 seconds left on Instagram Live. So this is a perfect time for us to wrap up. Folks, stay safe.
Yes. Stay home and, drink tea as usual.
Wash your hands,
stay
black
positive.
liquor, all that. Drink tea. Like, hopefully we won't be talking about this topic
Yeah,
again.
we
We'll
want
bring
to
it all
stay
back to the tea.
still back on tea. See you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye-bye. Which one do you do?
I'll do this one. And
Ew, I gotta see.
I gotta be careful.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you. End.